it live? Okay. All right, first and foremost, we give all praises, all honor, and all glory unto the Most High God, Yahweh. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world calls Christ, Yahweh Shai. It's your brother, Chief Priest Alazar Ben Lawyer, a.k.a. the Guerrilla Hebrew. I'm joined by Officer Hassad Karab Ben Lawyer. I want you to take this time to like, subscribe, share, and super chat. Make sure y'all share it, saints. Share it, saints. Oh my goodness. Hold on. I'll be forgetting I gotta change the title on here when we do it this way. Salakia. Has the title been successfully changed yet?
Still 12.5.
12.5. Give me a second. Change it to 12. Has the changes been saved yet? All changes saved, it said. Give it a second. There we go. 12.12. Now share it.
Come. Is it Tawab Babakor?
Babakor, what they say. Share it, saints. No.
Good morning.
Heard I was low. So like your saints. So now, again, all praise to Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Getting ready to get started, continuing in the spirit as we have been, going into some of our Hebrew Israelite history as well as a portion of the Torah here on a weekly basis. But before we do that, quick reminder. We will be in Miami this weekend. The Sicarii will be in Florida this weekend. Okay, we may be making a special appearance in Orlando tomorrow evening. Okay, so be on the lookout for that if you're in the Orlando area, but that'll be brief Thursday night. But this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we plan to rock the South Florida area, Hollywood Beach, Little Haiti, South Beach, Golden Glades. We want to hit all those spots up through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and teach this word, man. Okay, so join us this weekend again. If you see there on the flyer, there is a phone number, which is 206-303-0415. Text Miami to that number for further information. Also, next month, we got the 12th MASHARAH YASHARAHLA Hebrew Summit going down in Atlanta, Georgia from January 24th to 27th. So we really appreciate and enjoy if y'all can join us out for this yet another milestone event through the spirit and power of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right. Right. There's a few things I considered talking about before class, but it's all right. It's so much going on in the earth. I can't even believe everything that's going on right now on the planet Earth. Most High is getting ready to bring this shalom to the soldier, strong soldier, Ramamath Ben Lawyer. There's so much going on in the earth right now. I don't even know where to start. It's very clear the Most High is getting ready to bring this earth, this world as we know it, to an end and begin a new world under Hamashiach Yahushua. Very evident. Okay? So yeah. But without any further ado, I just want to get into it, man. I just want to get into it. Most High willing, we'll have Situation Room later this evening, hosted by Deacon Hakago Yum. Me typically as a special guest. Brother said Sandra Bland. I know some new stuff coming out about Sandra Bland. More Jakes dying left and right. American Dollar getting dropped. Black cop indicted for shooting a white woman when he was in fear for his life. In the line of duty. You know? Madness. All type of madness going on. I think I'm going to take all that to the streets, though, to be honest. So we have some talking points. I believe there's some police brutality there in Miami just this last week. Well, y'all are going to see us. Most High will. So much going on in the world. The world is coming to an end as we know it. Yahweh Shai and his kingdom under the Most High Yahweh is getting ready to happen. Very soon. It's on the horizon. So, but we, as Hebrew Israelites, need to do is if we love Yahweh Shai, feed his sheep, keep the commandments, keep the faith, and endure to the end. We've seen all this madness. We were foretold in the book that we would see it. So it's in our best interest to do the things that we were told to do in the book. Okay? Nate, not take the microchip, which is the mark of the beast. Things of that nature. It's all coming. Okay? So now, we're going to be in Genesis 21, or so like 25 to 29 this week. Which is some very powerful chapters in the formulation of how we as a nation came to be. Okay? So, I want y'all to understand that. So let's go ahead. Shalom, the God of the One. Go ahead, Otto.
Khan, this is Genesis chapter 25. Yeah, let me know if y'all can hear me. Genesis chapter 25, verse 1. It says, Then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah.
Why did he take a wife whose name was Keturah? If y'all remember last week, because Sarah is dead. So now Abraham has a new wife named Keturah. Okay, read on.
And she bare him Zimran and Jokshan and Medan.
He had all these sons. That's why, if y'all remember in the church, there's a song that say, "What Father Abraham and many sons."
Yeah,
he had many sons. He had Isaac. He had Ishmael. Then he started having all these other kids with Keturah, right? So go ahead.
It says Medan and Midian.
And Medan and Midian is where you get the Midianites from. Huh? Read on.
And Ishbak and Shua and Jokshan begat Sheba.
And Jokshan begat Sheba. This is where you get, and you see later in the Bible, geographical locations named Sheba and Dedan. They come from these men that were the sons of Abraham. They were later taken over by people who were not the sons of Abraham, though, because the Cushites took over control of most of this area, which is Lower Arabia and into Yemen. Sheba, Dedan, Midian, etc. The Cushites, the so-called Ethiopian, Eritrean, Somalian, Djiboutian, they took over these areas. But these areas were named after the sons of Abraham. Read on.
And the sons of Dedan were Ashurim and Letushim and Lemumin.
Read on.
And the sons of Midian.
Midian, right? Abraham has a son named Midian. Midian has sons. These are Abraham's grandsons. These are a Shemitic people. Read on.
Ephah.
What?
Ephah.
And who?
And Epher.
And who?
And Epher.
And Epher. Epher, the grandson of Abraham. This is where you get the word Africa from. Africa is not named after Leo Scipio Africanus. Okay? That's false rhetoric. Africa is named after the grandson of Abraham named Epher or Afar. That's where it comes from. Okay? We're going to prove that through the Spirit now, because I know this is a common false belief that people have, and you've heard on a million Hebrew Israelite videos, and we've even said it. But guess what? It's not true. Just so you know. It's just not true. Okay? So let me share my screen. All right. It's a Wikipedia article on Africa. Come on. What's going on? Here we go. So now, Wikipedia article on Africa, right? And it says Afri was a Latin name used to refer to the inhabitants of the then known northern Africa to the west of the Nile, and in its widened sense referred to all lands south of the Mediterranean, right? So first, let's just get a map of Africa real quick. Yo, why is it? I don't even understand how this got on my computer. This is crazy. Okay, here we go. Let's go to the map. So, west of the Nile. So it originally referred to this area. Then it started referring to everything south of the Mediterranean. So then it began to mean essentially all of this. Notice Israel is technically south of the Mediterranean. Just, so we throw that out there. Where we at? And it's why, okay, boom. Ancient Libya. Okay, then it says, this name seems to have originally referred to a native Libyan tribe, an ancestor of the modern Berbers. Okay, remember this. We're going to get to this in a second. The modern Berbers. See Terrence for discussion. The name had usually been connected to the Phoenician word afar. Just so y'all know, Phoenician in Hebrew is the same language. Okay? Afar. That's the word we just read in Hebrew that's transliterated as Ephor. As afar meaning dust. Okay? If you look it up, it's the same. As a matter of fact, where we at? Genesis 25 and 4, right? Just to show y'all it's the same word. Dust. See that? Take it all the way back to this original. Dust. Powder. Right? Where we at? A 1981 hypothesis asserted that it stems from the Berber word Ifri, which means cave, in reference to cave dwellers. See, white man try to superimpose that African is a cave dweller. Imagine that. The same word may be found in the Banu Ifrin, from Algeria to Tripolitania, a Berber tribe, originally from Yafran in northwestern Libya, etc. And then it goes into the Roman rule of Carthage, and which is how Leo Scipio even got the name. All right. Now these are other etymological hypotheses for the name Africa. Flavius Josephus. Is Flavius Josephus an Israelite? Yes. People rely on him for a lot of history, certainly. The first century Jewish historian Flavius Josephus in Antiquities 1-15 asserted that the name was named for Ephor, who we're just reading about, Genesis 25 and 4, the grandson of Abraham, whose descendants he claimed had invaded Libya. Okay, so those people of Ephor are those Berbers that it's talking about that came into Libya. All right. Are those people that came into Libya, and I'm gonna show you that these people. These are the Libyan Berbers, right? So you have some that favor a more Negroid phenotype, and you have some that favor kind of a more Arab phenotype, right? But these are the grandchildren of our forefather Abraham. These would be cousins of ours. Okay, not our people, not Israelites, not the chosen people, but a Shemitic people, an Afro-Shemitic people. Okay, we're not the only Afro-Shemitic people, quote unquote. Okay. You said what?
You see the top right one, right there.
What this?
No, above it. Never mind.
Right here.
Yeah, right.
You see, so these are people who are related to us. So these are the people that now they're called the Tuareg. They're a Berber people. These are the people, and you see these. They look like we do, right? They just got their own unique culture of a certainty. Right, let me get some more pictures. These are the kids. These are the kids. Look like young Jakes. You see? But these are the Ifir people, where the term Africa comes from. Alright? They look like both kingdoms. Right? Because they are relatives. Okay? Very simple. All right. So I hope that's super clear. Go ahead.
It says, and the sons of Midian, Ephah and Epher, and Hanak, and Abida, and Eldaah, all these were the children of Keturah. Verse 5, and Abraham gave all that he had unto Isaac.
You see that? He gave all that he had, all his great possessions, he gave to Isaac. He didn't give to these other kids that he had, or to Ishmael. Read.
It says, but unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away.
But he did give them, he didn't just leave them with nothing. He gave them gifts and he sent them away. But all his possessions were inherited by Isaac. Read on.
And sent them away from Isaac his son.
Go ahead.
While he yet lived eastward unto the east country. Verse 7, and these are the days of the years of Abraham's life, which he lived, 115 years. Then
so he lived to be 160. What you said?
115.
Yeah. So that's 175 years.
Yeah.
Our forefather Abraham lived to be 175 years old. Man, that's how much the Most High blessed him. Right? Even because that was the time where he was letting people live to about 120. So that literally means he let him go 55 years past that. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's important to also go through because a lot of people don't know about Abraham's other children, but that just goes and ties right back into Romans the 9th chapter and around verse 7, even verse 6. They are not all Israel which are of Israel, but not because you're a child of Abraham are you a child of God, but in Isaac shall thy seed be called.
Yeah, that's right. Showing you how irrelevant the people of Esau are, the people of Ishmael, and those people. And even when you get the term Arab in the Hebrew, it means mixed, right? And the reason why they call them mixed is because they're an amalgamation. Oftentimes we refer blanketly to Arabs as Ishmaelites, but in truth, every Arab is not an Ishmaelite. These other children of Abraham are also would be considered Arab today. And they vary in appearance, but they're loosely all referred to as Arab. And the reason why is because they're a mixture of amalgamated Shemitic people, okay, who live in an area of Arabia. So they're all referred to as Arab, but Ishmael is the chief of those people. So that's why we often just blanketly refer to all of those people as Ishmael. But they could, some of them technically be of the other sons of Abraham. Very simply. In the case of the people, the Tuareg people, they be considered Arab. The people we just showed you. But they would be the people of Epher, okay, the original African people. And that's where that term comes from. So again, no, Africa does not come from Leo Scipio Africanus. It comes from the Hebrew word for dust. All right? But go ahead.
Verse 8, then Abraham gave up the ghost and died in a good old age, an old man and full of years, and was gathered to his people.
That's right. So he was gathered to his people. Right? Meaning his people came and buried him, etc. Read on.
And his sons, Isaac and Ishmael, buried him in the cave of Machpelah, in the field of Ephron, the son of Zohar, the Hittite.
Remember in the last portion we read, he bought that so he could be buried there. That today is Israel, right? But at that time, the Hamites controlled it. Read on.
Which is before Mamre. The field which Abraham purchased of the sons of Heth, there was Abraham buried, and Sarah his wife. Verse 11, and it came to pass, after the death of Abraham, that God blessed his son Isaac, and Isaac dwelt by the well Laharai. Now these are the
that well was the well that we read about a couple weeks ago, where Hagar was at when the angel met her. So that's where Isaac lived, near that same well. Read on.
Now these are the generations of Ishmael, Abraham's son, whom Hagar the Egyptian, Sarah's handmaid, bare unto Abraham. And these are the names of the sons of Ishmael by their names, according to their generations. The firstborn of Ishmael, Nebajoth, and Kedar, and Abdi, and Adbeel, and Mibsam.
Yeah, Kedar, like in Songs of Solomon 1:5, it says, as the tents of Kedar, that's Kedar, a son of Ishmael. Right? So read on.
It says, and Mibsam, and Mishma, and Duma, and Masa, Hadar, and Tamah, Jeter, Naphish, and Kedemah. These are the sons of Ishmael, and these are their names by their towns and by their castles, 12 princes according to their nations.
So what does that mean? Ishmael has 12 tribes too. The same way Israel has 12 tribes, Ishmael has 12 tribes. Okay? Just like how Edom has 6 tribes. Right? Read on.
It says, and these are the years of the life of Ishmael, 137 years. And he gave up the ghost and died, and was gathered unto his people.
Read on.
And they dwelt from Havilah. They dwelt from Havilah unto Shur, that is before Egypt, as thou goest towards Assyria. And he died in the presence of all his brethren. And these.
The water to the sister, Miss Seeking Wisdom. Go ahead.
And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. Abraham begat Isaac. And Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, the daughter of Bethuel the Syrian, of Padanaram, the sister of Laban the Syrian.
Go ahead.
And Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife, because she was barren.
So the same way the mother of Isaac, which is Sarah, was barren, his wife Rebekah was also barren. So he entreated Yahweh to open his wife's womb to bear seed. Right? Read on.
And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
And see, remember at this time, Abraham had all these other kids. Them kids start having kids. Ishmael been and had 12 kids. But here's Isaac childless. So he's beseeching the Most High. Read on.
And the children struggled together within her.
So we know the story, right? There's twins in this woman's womb, and these kids are at contention at this time in the womb of their mother. Read on.
And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
What's going on? If this is a blessing from God, why do I feel such turmoil taking place in my womb? Read on.
And she went to inquire of the Lord.
So she asked of Yahweh. Read on.
And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
2 nations are in thy womb. 2 nations. Read on.
And 2 manner of people shall...
2 different types of people. 2 people with 2 different natures are in your womb, and what?
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
You're gonna give birth to twins, and they're gonna be separate people. They're gonna be separated from out of you. Right? So read.
It says, and the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
One of them is gonna be stronger. One of them is going to be better. One of them is going to be superior than the other. Read on.
The one people shall be stronger than the other people, and the elder.
And the who?
The elder.
The oldest one is what?
Shall serve the younger.
Shall serve the younger. So whichever one comes out first is meant to be a servant to the one that comes out second. Right? This is what the angel is telling Rebekah. This is why we see Rebekah, as the story is going to progress, be so favorable to Jacob, because the angel came and told her. The angel didn't come and tell Isaac this, right? But Rebekah had full understanding of this. So this is why she's always favoring Jacob over Esau. She wrote Esau off because the angel already told her the whole get down about Esau, right? So read on.
It says, and when her days to be delivered.
And that's the thing, because as the father Isaac, you have certain things that you give to that firstborn. Right? We're in Genesis. Where we in Genesis?
25 and 24.
Okay, so as a father in our culture, you're obligated to be really sort of partial towards your firstborn. Isaac didn't even have a choice but to do that. But here we have Rebekah, and the angel comes to Rebekah and informs her in this instance, the firstborn, to hell with him, it's about Jacob. So her, with that knowledge that she was given from the angel, she lived her life like that from the second that she gave birth. Isaac, on the other hand, didn't have this prerequisite knowledge. So he did what was customary of our people to the treatment towards the firstborn. Right? So read on.
Huh. And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
Mm-hmm.
And the first came out red all over, like an hairy garment.
He said he did what?
And the first came out red all over, like an hairy garment.
Like an hairy garment. A lot of people break this down. He was red and hairy. No, he was not. He was red all over like a hairy garment. It is describing the shade of red he was by likening it unto a hairy garment. Right? You got Exodus.
Yeah.
Read that.
This is Exodus chapter 26, verse 14.
Uh-huh.
And thou shalt make a covering for the tent of ram skins,
Uh-huh.
dyed red.
Ram skins dyed red. A ram skin was white. It would be dyed red with what they call kermes dye. Kermes dye was made from the blood of worms that were found on the trees in the Mediterranean. So what color was Esau out of the womb? Blood red. Let's show an example of a recreation of that hairy garment or that ram skin dye red. See that? Look at that shade of red. It's a blood red. Because it was made with blood. So that is what Esau looked like out of the womb. Okay, for these people who try to say, well, such and such was ready, or is it ready,
Yeah, exactly.
ready brown?
I was just going to say that, yeah.
That's not what it's talking about. Okay? That's ridiculous.
Because I want to say there's only one Hebrew word for
Red.
red, right? So that's why it says, it emphasizes like in hairy garment. Don't just say, oh, he was red. He says he was red like in hairy garment, putting emphasis on what type of red it was.
Exactly.
Look at that one right there with the, oh, you missed it, with the, red ass baby.
As you can see here, this is how they come out. Look at his cheeks. Look how red he is, showing forth. Red. 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 Go ahead.
Come. It says, and the first came out red all over, like an hairy garment, and they called his name Esau.
Called his name Esau because his skin was wasted. It's wasted.
Come.
Right? Go ahead.
And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
And real quick, sometimes, and this is why you have to study, because these lexicons are not always on point. All right? What do I mean? If you look up Esau in the lexicon, it'll tell you it means hairy. There's nowhere that word means hairy, implicates hairy. It's not etymologically or phonetically related to any word that is synonymous with being hairy at all in the Hebrew language. It's simply not. Right? So what does that let us know? That it's full of BS. Okay? Point blank period. It's full of BS, the lexicon of that instance. All right? So you have to be careful with that. And really get into the Hebrew sometimes, because guess what? This lexicon is not going to have all the answers for you. Okay? Right here. See, this is the root word for Esau, so you can understand. Strong's 87722. Right? This is Shaw. This is where you get it from, Esau. Shaw. Right? Waste. See that? Devastation. Ruin. Why? Because his skin was ruined. Wasted. Right? So read on.
It says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel. And his name was called Jacob. Right?
So his hand taking on his heel is symbolic. Symbolic of Jacob taking Esau down. Right? Get that in 2nd Ezra.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 6, verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of the times? or when shall be the end of the first, and the beginning of it that followeth.
The end of the world as we know it, as we spoke about at the beginning of the class, in the beginning of the new world. The same thing that our brothers, the Mayans and Aztecs, talked about. Same question our prophet Ezra, Azar in the Hebrew, talked about. So read.
And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac.
From Abraham to Isaac, read on.
When Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau.
So Jacob's hand held Esau's heel, right? Read on.
For Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of that which follows.
So Esau will be ruling the earth at the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. That's what his hand on the heel represented. That we would take down our wicked, evil twin brother Esau in the last days. So read.
Yeah, and that kind of reminds me of Daniel, the statue, how Yahushua, remember he hits the feet.
Of course, yeah, come.
It says, and after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold on Esau's heel, and his name was called Jacob, and Isaac was 80.
Yes, which is Yaquab in the Hebrew, which means he's a supplanter. Right? Read on.
And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field.
That's the white man. He hunts. He shoots 12-point bucks. Okay? He's on the Outdoor Life Network. All right? A man of the field. That's his thing. Read on.
And Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents.
But Jacob liked to kick it. This is how we know who Jacob and Esau is. There's no disputation of this. One likes to go and hunt. One likes to kick it. Who is this talking about in the earth? Read.
And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison.
So Esau would go out, kill deer, and feed it to his father. And his father was partial to the taste of the venison that his son Esau would make for him. Read on.
But Rebekah loved Jacob.
Jacob is a mama's boy. Just like a lot of blacks and Hispanic men today. Mama's boys. Read on.
And Jacob sought pottage, and Esau came from the field.
And she loved him. And does say, you know why she loved him? Because the angel told her that he was going to be the guy. So she's looking like, wow, I even love this deformed bastard. Right? Yeah. Go ahead.
And he was faint.
So here come Esau. Faint.
Yeah,
right?
Red ass cheese.
Right? Here come Jacob. He making a nice stew. Read on.
And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee. With that same red pottage.
With that what?
Same red pottage.
That same red pottage. People, red pottage is not talking about raw meat.
Yeah.
It's another false breakdown. It's talking about he was eating red beans. All right? Go ahead.
For I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
That's right, after the red beans. Not just his red skin, but he did come out red all over. So you can understand. But he was called red for these red beans that he sold his birthright for. Right? Read on.
And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright.
Let me get that birthright up off you, homie. Read.
And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
An overreacting devil. It's the end of the world. I hate my life.
I'm going to die.
You know? Go ahead.
Behold, I am at the point to die, and what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said,
yeah, what good is it for me? Right, go ahead.
Swear to me this day. And he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob.
See, and this is the craziest thing about it. Later, Jacob is called a thief and all this stuff, but I mean, he bought it from a fair and square. Sure, Jacob usurped him, scammed him a little bit, but it was an agreement that two men entered into. Period. So when Esau tries to get that blessing later, he already sold it, man. He already sold it. Jacob ain't steal. He ain't scammed him. Right, but go ahead.
It says, then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright.
He hated his birthright. He hated what essentially the kingdom of heaven. Go ahead, which he didn't fully understand at that time, but he later would find out. Read on.
And there was Genesis 26:1. And there was a famine in the land beside the first famine that was in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went unto Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar.
So there's another famine in Canaan. Read on.
Con.
Mind you, this is how the Lord is judging the Canaanites little by little, as it talks about in Wisdom 12.
Yeah.
He's visiting them through famines, etc. They're not getting it. They continue to be homosexuals and practice incest and kill babies, right? So because they kept doing that, he sent different things all the way up until our conquest of that land. So read.
Con. It says, and the Lord appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt, dwell in the land which I shall tell thee.
So he said, listen, don't go into Egypt like we usually would go to during the time of a famine. Go to the land that I tell you. Read on.
Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries. And I'll
meaning he's just saying go to a different part of Canaan because you're getting ready to inherit all of this anyway. So just get ready for that. Right? Go ahead.
And I'll perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father. And I'll make thy seed to multiply as the stars of heaven, and will give unto thy seed all these countries, and in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed.
Go ahead.
Because that Abraham obeyed my voice.
Because what?
Oh, Abraham obeyed my voice.
Abraham listened to me. Read.
And kept my charge.
And what?
Kept my charge.
Read on.
My commandments.
My what?
My commandments.
Abraham kept the commandments. This is how he's getting his children are inheriting all this through his devotion to the keeping of the commandments that God gave him. Read on.
My statutes and my laws.
Read on.
And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him of his wife, and he said, She is my sister.
And you see that? They hear Isaac doing the same thing Pops did, Abraham. We read about this. So people will take this and say that they were practicing incest, but that's not what was going on. What's going on is out of fear, these individuals are lying. Okay? Read on.
For he feared to say, She is my wife.
He was afraid. Not that she's actually his sister. He said she's his sister because he feared to say she's his wife. Right? But they were cousins. Right? Read on.
Lest, said he, the men of the place should kill me for Rebekah.
He just thought that these sick Hamites, they're going to kill me for this woman. Right? Read.
Because she was fair to look upon.
Because she looked good as hell. Right? Read on.
And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife.
Okay. So, what verse is this again?
This is verse 8.
26?
Okay.
So we're going to look into this word briefly for sporting so y'all can understand. He was playing with her. As grown-ups here, I think you know what it means to when people play, because he's not just playing with her like they're joking around. That's not uncharacteristic of a brother and sister. This type of playing let this king know they're not brother and sister. Read that part again.
Come. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, that Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out a window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah his wife.
You see that? We're sporting. Right? Keep reading.
And Abimelech called Isaac and said, Behold, of a surety she is thy wife.
She's your wife. Why are you sporting her? So they're not playing. They're not playing catch. They weren't playing tag. They weren't just tickling each other. He was playing with Rebekah. I shouldn't have to spell out what that means. So go ahead.
And how saidest thou, She is my sister?
Now, why are you lying talking about that's your sister, nigga? Man, I see you, again, playing with her. All right? Go ahead.
And Isaac said unto him, Because I said, lest I die for her.
Read on.
And Abimelech said, What is this that thou hast done unto us? One of the people might lightly have lined with thy wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us.
You see that? And again, this is going to show you the universal sin, which we went into a few months ago. Again, universal sin deals with fornication and child sacrifice. Those are things that the Most High God does not tolerate in any nation. Okay? He don't care what nation you are. If you are committing adultery, being a homosexual, being a pedophile, practicing bestiality, the Lord will bring judgment for that. If you're killing babies, the Lord will bring judgment for that. That's just point blank period. Right? So read.
And Abimelech charged all his people, saying, He that toucheth this man or his wife shall surely be put to death.
Right, go ahead.
Then Isaac sowed in that land.
Because they were scared. A lot of these nations, they were scared of Alashadja. Who's Alashadja? Yahweh. But they called him Alashadja. And the reason why they called him that, because they knew he was going to bring destruction to them for their evil and their wickedness. Right? So read.
Then Isaac sowed in that land and received in the same year in 100-fold.
You see that? So Isaac went and planted in that land. And the Most High gave him 100-fold as promised. Read.
And the Lord blessed him. And the man waxed great.
So that's like he went and gave $1 and he got $100. Or he gave $100 and he got, what is that, $10,000. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And the man waxed great and went forward and grew until he became very great. For he had possession of flocks and possessions of herds and great store of servants, and the Philistines envied him.
So the Philistines, them Hamites, they started looking at him with an envious eye because of how the Most High God was blessing him. Read on.
For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth.
They tried to stop up the wells. Right? Now, in a spiritual sense, if you understand that wells is dealing with this understanding, that the understanding of the Torah and the scriptures, when they fill them with earth, they're trying to stop that well up. They're trying to stifle our water flow. You see what I'm saying? They're trying to water down our doctrine. So not even water down. In this case, the doctrine is water. So they're trying to mud down the doctrine. Right? Read.
For all the wells which his father's servants had digged in the days of Abraham his father, the Philistines had stopped them and filled them with earth.
Demons, man. Go ahead.
And Abimelech said unto Isaac, Go from us, for thou art much mightier than we.
Just get out of here. You're better than us. This is what this Hamite, this is a Kemetic, this is Egyptian now. Philistines are Egyptians. You're better than us. Go, get out of here. Basically. My people are just too jealous of how great you are, son of Abraham. Read.
And Isaac departed thence and pitched his tent in the valley of Gerar and dwelt there.
Read.
And Isaac digged again the wells of water which they had digged in the days of Abraham his father, for the Philistines had stopped them after the death of Abraham. And he called their names after the names by which his father had called them.
So he just reinstituted what his father had already did. Read on.
And Isaac's servants digged in the valley and found there a well of springing water. And the herdmen of Gerar did strive with Isaac's herdmen, saying, The water is ours. And he called the name of the well Esek.
You see that? So they're striving there. They're beefing behind this well. Nowadays, niggas beef about a corner. In the ancient days, niggas beefing about a well. Why? Because a well was a source of water, which of course is a necessary and vital part of life. Right? Read.
Because they strove with him. And they digged another well and strove for that also.
They did it again. Read.
And he called the name of it Sitnah.
Yeah, so those names that they're calling it mean contention and strife. Right? So read.
And he removed from thence and digged another well, and for that they strove not. And he called the name of it Rehoboth. And he said, For now Yahweh hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land.
Exactly. Now we're room. Now we're away from where these other people are that we're beefing about this short space with. So now we have room made for us. Right? Read on.
And he went up from thence to Beersheba. And the Lord appeared unto him the same night and said, I am the God of Abraham.
What verse was that?
Verse 20. Which one? Right now?
Yeah.
Verse 24.
The one before.
Beersheba? 23.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, And Yahweh appeared unto him the same night and said, I am the God of Abraham thy father. Fear not, for I am with thee, and will bless thee and multiply thy seed for my servant Abraham's sake.
So here come Yahweh appearing to who's our man? Isaac, right? Our forefather. Go ahead.
And he builded an altar there, and called upon the name of the Lord, the name of Yahweh, and pitched his tent there, and there Isaac's servants digged a well. And then Abimelech went to him from Gerar, and Ahuzath, one of his friends, and Philcol, the chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto them, Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me, and have sent me away from you?
So, like, you read that part again?
And Isaac said unto them, Wherefore come ye to me, seeing ye hate me?
And why are you coming here and you hate my guts? Read.
And have sent me away from you. And they said, We saw certainly that Yahweh was with thee. And we said, Let there be now an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee.
So the Hamites want to enter into a covenant now. Read.
That thou wilt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee, and as we have done unto thee nothing but good.
So he's saying, look, man, we're afraid of you, and if we just went into a covenant, it would be all good, right? Go ahead.
And have sent thee away in peace. Thou art now the blessed of Yahweh. And he made them a feast, and they did eat and drink.
Go ahead.
And they rose up betimes in the morning, and sware one to another, and Isaac sent them away, and they departed from him in peace.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, We have found water.
Go ahead.
And he called it Sheba. Therefore the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day.
So when you read about the city of Beersheba, this is why it's called that, for the exploits of our forefather Isaac. Right? Read on.
And Esau was 40 years old when he took to wife Judith, the daughter of Beri the Hittite, and Bashemath, the daughter of Elon the Hittite.
Of the people that his parents told him not to marry, here this piece of garbage goes and marries. Beri and Bashemath. Right? Read on.
Okay. Which were a grief of mine unto Isaac and to Rebekah.
Isaac and Rebekah hated this. Why? Because it was against their culture. Our culture, as the Shemitic Hebrew people, this is pre-Israel now, but as the Hebrew culture, our culture was to not marry Canaanites. It goes back to Abraham. Don't marry the Canaanite. It was passed to Isaac. They felt the same way. But here this degenerate bastard Esau goes, doing exactly what his parents asked him not to do. Have any woman in the world except the Canaanite. And here this devil goes, getting a Canaanite, marrying 2 Hittite women. And it was a grief of mine. The same way nowadays, it's a grief of mine to your mama if you get with a white woman. Esau is the first white boy, so ain't no white people that not like at this time. At this time, who we didn't like are the Canaanites. Right? And there's reasons for that. But for whatever reason, we'll see in the Bible, it's difficult to stay away from the Canaanite woman. It's very difficult. Right? You get on Instagram, you look at the African women, man. You'll start to see why. But for whatever reason, not just Esau, because he's not our people, but many Israelites got with Canaanite women. Even though we're explicitly told and ordered not to. Many tribes of Israel wouldn't exist if there had not been a Canaanite woman to bear them. Namely who? Judah. The chief tribe of Israel, Judah, came through the womb of a Canaanitish woman. See? So, we couldn't stay away from a Canaanite woman, though our parents wanted us to. See, I can see why we was going after the Canaanite woman. I still can't get the fascination with the white woman. Right? But, we go into 27. Go ahead.
Verse 20, chapter 27, verse 1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see.
So Isaac had lost his sight, right? In his old age. Go ahead.
He called Esau his eldest son and said unto him, My son. And he said unto him, Behold, here am I. And he said, Behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death.
I'm getting ready to die. This is what Isaac's saying. I don't know when I'm going to die, but I'll die soon probably. Right? Read.
Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons, thy quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field and take me some venison.
Go get me some of that good deer you always get, son. Read.
And make me savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me that I may eat, that my soul may bless thee before I die.
Go get me something good to eat so I can bless you before I die. Read on.
And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau, his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it.
Rebekah heard this. So here's Rebekah. She's got a plan. Go ahead. She's got a plan. She remembers what the angel tells her. So she understands this is how the plan is going to be acted out. The Spirit is compelling her now. Read.
And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, Behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, Bring me venison, and make me savory meat.
Read on.
That I may eat and bless thee before Yahweh before my death.
Uh-huh.
Now therefore, my son, obey my voice, obey my voice according to that which I command thee.
Listen, I'm going to give you the plan, nigga. You better listen. Do exactly what I tell you, boy. Read.
Go now to the flock.
Uh-huh.
And fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats.
I'm going to go get 2 goats. Read.
And I will make them savory meat for thy father.
I'm going to cook this goat. Read.
Such as he loveth.
Well, a lot of us, Israel, we like goat now.
Yeah.
You go to the Jamaican spot. You
goat.
get your curry goat. Right? Levi. A lot of, it's big eating goat on the island of Haiti. Right? So read.
And thou shalt bring it to thy father that he may eat. And that he may.
We go pawn this off as deer. Read.
And that he may eat and that he may bless thee before his death.
He gonna bless you. We gonna get this blessing, boy. Don't you worry about it. Read.
And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, Behold, Esau my brother is a hairy man.
He said, well, how are we gonna do this? This nigga's hairy. Read.
And I am a smooth man.
Right. So this, when Esau wasn't hairy at birth, Esau grew up to be hairy. But Jacob was smooth. Okay, we see how the white man is hairy, and our people are typically what? Smooth. Right? Read.
My father peradventure will feel me, and I shall seem to him as a deceiver.
Yeah, he can't see me, but if he touch me, he gonna know that I'm not him. Because this cracker hairy as hell. Go ahead.
And I shall bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, Upon me by thy curse.
Real quick, what verse you at?
13.
Let me show you something. Another quick thing. Little Hebrew gem through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh. So he said he's a hairy man, right? This is important. He's hairy. There's the word for hairy. Shayar. Same word when it say he came out red like a hairy garment. Hairy Shayar. This also proves that Esau doesn't mean hairy because this means hairy. Shayar. Right? Now look. Hairy. He goat, buck, a sacrificial animal. A demon-possessed goat. Also, it's translated as this. Y'all ready? Devil. Yeah. This is showing you what the white man's the devil, because the word that describes him now, this word also is the name of the capital of Edom, which is Mount Seir. Mount Devil.
I'm a devil man.
They're the devil. It's who they are. All right? It's in the Hebrew. It's very clear. We have always understood that the white man is the devil. Truly, the red man is the devil.
The beast man.
The beast man. That's right. He is the harbinger of death. So go ahead.
Okay. It says, and his mother said unto him, Upon me be thy curse, my son.
And she said, don't worry about it. Just put it on me. Mind y'all now. Okay. Well, we got to keep reminding y'all about Sarah and Rebekah. They're not Israelites. Our sweet mamas, in this instance, are not Israelites. They're the mothers to Israel, but they themselves are not Israelites. So she's going to take this curse on herself. Right? Read.
Only obey my voice and go fetch me them. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them upon Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands.
So she took the same goat that she killed, and she pawned it off his hair on Jacob, so Jacob can impersonate Esau. Read on.
And upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave the savory meat and the bread which she had prepared into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came unto his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I. Who art thou, my son?
He said, Who art thou, my son? I don't know which son it is, because you got to remember these are twins. Right? So they're twins, but they're not identical twins. So they don't look the same, right? But it would stand to reason that they probably sounded similar to one another, right? So he said, who is this? Read.
Yeah, even if they didn't sound that much alike, he could still try to impersonate his voice.
Yeah, exactly.
And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn.
I'm Esau. Here I am. I'm Esau. Read.
I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee. Sit and eat of my venison.
I got the venison for you. Really, nigga, it's goat. But go ahead.
That thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto his son, How is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son?
Damn, you back fast, boy. You been a shot, killed, and cooked this deer already? Read.
And he said, Because Yahweh thy power brought it to me.
The Most High gave this to me. Really through his mama. Read.
And Isaac said unto Jacob, Come near, I pray thee, that I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or
He
not.
said, let me find out. I don't know. I'm skeptical. It might be to supplant and ask Jacob. Let me feel you, your hairy ass. Read.
And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, The voice is Jacob's voice.
He said, oh, now see, look, it sounds like Jacob. Right? So, it sounds like he didn't even mask his voice, apparently. It sounds like Jacob. This is Jacob's voice, but what?
But his hands, the hands are the hands of Esau.
But it feel like Esau. But it sounds like Jacob. Read.
And he discerned him not, because his hands were hairy. And his brother Esau's hands, as his brother Esau's hands, so he blessed him.
So he said, all right, whatever. I know Jacob ain't hairy, so you know what? Cool. With this, I'll take it. Read.
And he said, Art thou my very son Esau?
Are you Esau? Read.
And he said, I am. And he said, Bring it near to me, and I'll eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near to him, and he did eat, and he brought him wine, and he drank.
He got his old daddy drunk. Read.
And his father Isaac said unto him, Come near now, and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field.
You right? Go ahead.
Which Yahweh hath blessed.
Esau smell like outside. You see, white people stink. Okay, that's in the Bible. Read.
Therefore, God give thee of the dew of heaven.
He got on goat skin. And he said, "Oh yeah, this is Esau. Esau smells like a damn goat. Yeah, he is a goat, but he's not the goat." Read.
Jacob smell like cocoa butter.
You know.
And the fatness of the earth, and plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee, and nations bow down to thee.
Read that part again.
Let nations serve thee.
This is the blessing. This blessing that all you Christians say you have, or that understand the blessing that you're talking about. It's what? Read it again.
Let people serve thee.
Let people serve you. Read.
And nations bow down to thee.
Have slaves. That's the blessing. Read.
Be Lord over thy brethren.
Rule everybody. Rule the Edomites. Rule the Ishmaelites. Rule everyone. Read.
And let thy mother's sons bow down to thee.
Let Esau get on his goddamn knees in front of you. Read.
Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee.
That's right. Which is why everyone's going to be cursed, because no nation has blessed us. Read.
It says, And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac his father, that Esau his brother came in from his hunting. And he also had made savory meat, and brought it unto his father. It said unto his father, Let my father arise and eat of his son's venison.
Here come Esau. Here, come on, Dad. Eat some of this deer, right? Nigga, you're too late. Go ahead.
That thy soul may bless me. And Isaac his father said unto him, Who art thou?
Wait, who the hell is this? Go ahead. I already talked to you, Esau.
And he said, I am thy son, thy firstborn Esau.
Go ahead.
And Isaac trembled very exceedingly, and said, Who? Where is he that had taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest. And I blessed him, yea, and he shall be blessed. And when Esau
I already gave a blessing out today. Go ahead.
And when Esau heard the words of his father.
But this is important, because he laid his hand on him and gave him that blessing. Right? Jacob. So it's over now. The blessing's on him. Go ahead.
And when Esau heard the words of his father, he cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, Bless me, even me also, O my father. And he said, Thy brother came with subtlety, and hath taken away thy blessing. And he said, Is it not rightly named Jacob?
You call him Jacob. He done supplanted me. But no, he didn't supplant you, you crying bitch. All right, and I'm going to say it straight, because that's what Esau is. You already sold us the birthright. It's over. Go ahead.
For he hath supplanted me these 2 times.
Yeah, well, I mean, nigga, you was the one acting like it was the end of the world. Go ahead.
He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, Hast thou not reserved a blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, Behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. Verse 39. Let me get another version for this. Okay, verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of heaven from above.
Yeah, get that.
This is
So we gotta understand what this means, because you have these Esau's, the Arabs guys, and they use this not understanding what it's talking about, and even in the way they use it, you can still disprove their point that way, but we're gonna do it this way.
Okay. This is Genesis 27 and 39, and I'm gonna read it in the NLT. It says, finally his father Isaac said to him, You will live away from the riches of the earth.
He said, because I've blessed Jacob with this, you're going to live away from the riches of the earth, which is why they live in Edom, right? They lived in that area of Edom. That's a desert wasteland, right? Read.
It says,
it's away from the Fertile Crescent. Watch. Let me show you. This is the Fertile Crescent. This is the fatness of the earth, the fattest part of the earth. It runs here all the way to boom. This is also the land that Abraham was promised by the Most High. This is really all of Israel right here. Boom, boom, right? And what Israel will be in the kingdom. We never possessed this, but this is what was promised to us. From Egypt all the way to Iraq, from Cairo to Baghdad, it's ours. Up into these parts of Turkey. So this is Africa, Europe, and Asia. Part of it is all ours, right? But see, this is where Edom is, just outside of it. Down here. Away from the fatness of the earth. Read on.
Come. It says, my fault. It says, you will live away from the richness of the earth and away from the dew of the heaven above.
Meaning you're not going to live in that good place. You're gonna live in Petra. Let's go here. And this is the reason why Esau is constantly going throughout the earth, trying to steal other people's lands, because this is where they come from. They come from here, a damn desert wasteland. So they got to go and steal somebody else's land in an attempt to get a better place. See, they come out of these caves.
Tell me that don't look just like damn the not the White House. What is it? Where the Lincoln Memorial is at? What am I thinking of? Anyway, it looks like all kinds of buildings you see in America today.
Okay, go ahead.
Verse 40, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. Let me read again. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Mm-hmm. So you're going to get a dominion. You're going to break the yoke of your brother off of your neck. And that's dealing with, after the Dark Ages, the white man came back into power. This is 1492. This is the Spanish Inquisition. This is the Spanish Armada. This is Christopher Columbus, Rodrigo Bogier, Caesar Bogier. That's what that's referencing. Right? So read.
And Esau hated Jacob.
And Esau what?
Hated Jacob.
Esau hated Jacob. Why?
Because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him.
So out of jealousy, the white man hates you. He hates you because he ain't you. So don't be puzzled as to why you experience racism. You experience racism because the white man is jealous of you. And everyone else is as well. Read.
And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. So
Esau said in his heart, I'm going to kill Jacob. That's what he said. So now, why do white people kill us? Because their forefather promised that he would kill us. And he never killed Jacob. So his descendants make good on that promise that their forefather made to themselves through us on us as the descendants of Jacob. Okay? So read.
And these words of Esau, her elder son, were told to Rebekah, and she sent and called.
So Rebekah heard. She found out, like a servant in the house must have heard Esau talking to himself like a Columbine kid. like I want to kill him. He's looking at the damn sword. After I get done mourning for my pops, I'm killing this nigga, right? And Rebecca heard this. So read.
It says, and she sent and called Jacob her younger son, and said unto him, Behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, doth comfort himself, purposing to kill thee.
He want to kill you. Read.
Now therefore, my son, obey my voice and arise. Flee thou to Laban, my brother.
Go to my brother's house. I got a place for you. Go to your uncle's house. Right? What does a mother do when she found out somebody wants to kill her son? She sends him away. Read.
To Haran. And tarry with him a few days until thy brother's fury turn away.
Just go stay with him until your brother chill out, because he want to kill you. And he's crazy and he's a murderer from the beginning. Read.
It says, and tarry with, that's like verse 45, until thy brother's anger turn away from thee, and he forget that which thou hast done unto him. Then I will send and fetch thee from thence. Why should I be deprived also of you both in one day?
Why should I be deprived of my husband and my son? Read.
It says, and Rebekah said to Isaac, I am weary of my life because of the daughters of Heth. If Jacob take a wife of the daughters of Heth, such as these which are of
which are the Hittites. The daughters of Heth are the Hittites. Read.
Which are the daughters of the land, what good shall my life do to me?
She said, I hate these Hamites. I can't stand them. What good is it going to be if my son marries one of them? So anyway, let's get his ass over to Laban's crib anyway, away from these Hittites. So she's got a plan here that Isaac get with one of these women, or Jacob rather gets with one of these women that are related to her. Read on.
It says,
and that's how a lot of people are like that. All right. You got people that look down. You even the 12 tribes. You have tribes that look down on if you get with somebody that's not in your own tribe. Right. I remember my grandmother. My grandmother's not a Levite. Right. So my and I'm gonna tell you something about the Levite woman. The Levite woman is very cruel to non-Levite women. All right, and this is just a fact. Okay, I'm not making that up. My grandfather's mother and his sisters, they were extremely rude to my grandmother because she wasn't a Levite, and they would talk about her in Creole, and she wouldn't know, so she would try to study and learn to figure out what the hell they was talking about, right? Then, even now, my little sister used to be very cruel to any woman I bring around. Why? Because the Levite woman just wants to see the Levite man with a Levite. She don't want to see you with nobody else. Right? And any Levite in the damn chat knows I'm telling the truth. You see? Any so-called Haitian watching this video, you know I'm telling the truth. Right? So how much more a nation getting with a whole other nation? Right? So read.
I got precept. This Sirach 11 and 28.
Who hates? I want to know who hates Mexicans in here. Somebody just said, "Why do you hate Mexicans?" Who hates Mexicans? Go ahead. Oh yeah, so the Simeonite woman is very, very cruel, because Simeon and Levi are cruel.
Yeah,
it's in the Bible, and the Simeonite woman is cruel a lot of times. You know, and you know, I have very strong opinions about the Simeonite woman. Not that I dislike them. I've certainly dated Simeonite women, but Simeonite woman is also cruel. All right, that island of Hispaniola has bred some very cruel men and women. Right. So read on.
Sirach 11 and 28, just going into you know, say Esau hated Jacob, and that's why Esau today hates us. Sirach 11 and 28, judge none blessed before his death, for a man shall be known in his children.
See, you said, well, why'd you read that?
For a man shall be known in his children, because Esau hated Jacob back then, and that they
had
jealousy.
There you go. All praise to the Most High. All praise to the Most High. Then that's how he's known. These kids, the descendants of Esau, they are perfect spitting images of their father. Perfect versions of their father. It's crazy. Right? So read on.
Genesis 28 and 1. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan.
He said, you do not take one of these Canaanite women. Whatever you do not take one of these Canaanite women. Right? Read on.
Arise, go to Padanaram to the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, and take thee a wife from thence.
You get one of them women. Okay, you get one of them Syrian women. Right? Read on.
Take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, thy mother's brother.
Go ahead.
And God Almighty bless thee.
Hold on. Adjacent, don't this channel, when is this channel ever express hatred towards Mexicans?
What the hell?
We love Mexicans. There's Mexicans on it, says Mexicans in this camp. What are you talking about? We love the tribe of Issachar. We fight for the tribe of Issachar. Right? So read on.
It says, and God Almighty bless thee and make thee fruitful and multiply thee, that thou mayest be a multitude of people.
That's right. That you become a great people and go get with one of them Syrian women. Right? One of your cousins. Right? So read on.
It says, and give thee the blessing of Abraham to thee and to thy seed with thee, that thou mayest inherit the land wherein thou art a stranger, which God gave unto Abraham.
Go ahead.
And Isaac sent away Jacob, and he went to Padanaram unto Laban, son of Bethuel, the Syrian, and the brother of Rebekah, Jacob and Esau's mother.
Go ahead.
When Esau saw that Isaac had blessed Jacob and sent him away to Padanaram to take him a wife from thence, and that as he blessed him, he gave him a charge, saying, thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. And that Jacob obeyed his father and his mother. And
see that? He saw Jacob follow the commandments. That's what he saw. Jacob followed commandments. He was in order. He followed the instructions of his parents. He honored his mother and father. Read on.
And Esau, seeing that the daughters of Canaan pleased not Isaac his father, then went Esau unto Ishmael and took unto the wives which he had.
After he had already had 2 Canaanite women, now he want to act like he's. Y'all had an earthquake in Georgia? That's crazy. Debak, what's up with that? Now he wants to go and try to keep it in the family and get another Shemite. Right? But he already got 2 Hamite women. Read.
Then went Esau unto Ishmael and took unto the wives which he had Mahalath, the daughter of Ishmael.
To cast it out. See, the cast it out is getting Ishmael and Edom are getting together.
Yeah.
The cast it out. You see?
Well, what is it? Misery loves.
You know, it's Jacob, man. Jacob's getting everything, man. You see? Read.
And Abraham's son, the sister of Nebuchadnezzar, to be his wife. And Jacob went out from Beersheba and went toward Haran. And he lighted upon a certain place and tarried there all night, because the sun was set. And he took of the stones of that place and put them for his pillows, and lay down in that place to sleep. And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set upon the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven, and behold, the angels of God ascending and descending on it. Is Jacob's ladder.
Jacob's ladder. Yeah, that's true, Charles. I observed that as well. It's not as heavy here. Go ahead. So here we are at Jacob's ladder now. So where Jacob is at is where the temple is built. Okay, and he's seeing the angels. Basically, like where the temple is, that's like an entry point for angels in the earth. Okay, so read.
It says, and behold, Yahweh stood above it and said.
That's what you would call as Polaris. You have these flat earthers who think the North Pole is the center of the earth. According to the Bible, that's false. Jerusalem is the center of the earth. Okay? So if you have a flat earth model and you believe in the Bible, at least put your capital in the center of that, where the temple is built. That's the center of the earth. Right? So read.
And said, I am Yahweh, God of Abraham thy father, and the God of Isaac. The land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, and to thy seed. And thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, and thou shalt spread abroad to the west, and to the east.
And to the west, and to the east, read on.
And to the north, and to the south.
We shall spread in every direction. Read on.
And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed.
Read on.
And behold, I am with thee, and will keep thee in all places whither thou goest.
21,
and will bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee.
You're going to Syria, but I'm going to bring you back here to Canaan. I will not leave thee. Read on.
Until I have done that which I have spoken to thee of. And Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and he said, surely Yahweh is in this place.
Surely here's Yahweh. He's in this place that I am laying. Read on.
And I knew it not. And he was afraid and said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven.
This is the house of God and the gate of heaven. So this is why the temple was built there. Read.
And Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put up for his pillows and set it up for a pillar and poured oil upon the top of it.
I'm
at verse 19. I'm almost 21. And he called the name of that place Bethel, but the name of that city was called Luz at the first. And Jacob vowed a vow.
It's called Bethel, which means Bath Ya'ala, the house of God. Go ahead.
And Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if God will be with me and will keep me in this way that I go, and will
if God will be with me, if Yahweh will be with me and keep me in the way that I go,
and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, so that I come again to my father's house in peace.
He provides for me food and raiment. Read on.
Then shall the Lord be my God.
Then will Yahweh be my God. So Yahweh is being asked to be proven here. Jacob is not sure if Yahweh is his power yet. Even though in fact he is, he didn't have the confirmation. Read.
And this stone, which
No, Mr. Bassi. That's a lie. You need to pay attention, watch videos. Don't ask stupid questions. Go ahead.
Come. And this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be God's house, and of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give the 10th unto thee.
What?
Surely give the 10th unto thee.
This is where tithes come from. And all that I get, I will surely give the 10th unto thee. So tithes predate the Levitical priesthood. So this is why we see it practiced even in the Melchizedekite order.
Yeah,
Abraham gave it to Melchizedek. Jacob promised the 10th to the Most High at this time. So it's something that is an obligation for all of the 12 tribes of Israel. Of all. Right? Read.
Genesis 29. Want me to read through 29?
I needed 28 and 21.
I told you 21. Come.
Why would you keep reading it? So read that again.
Come. This is Genesis 28 and 21. So that I come again to my father's house in peace. Then shall the Lord Yahweh be my God.
That's right. Then shall the Lord Yahweh be my God. Hold that Exodus 6 and 1 to 8. Because you have to understand when it says, then shall Yahweh be my God, there's a reason why he says that. And it comes up here. Right? So read that.
This is Exodus 6 and 1. Then Yahweh said unto Moses.
Well, hold on. Jerusalem is the center of the earth. I don't believe anybody believes Africa is the center of the earth. But Africa being the motherland is not even a point of discussion, okay? Because people who think that Jerusalem is the motherland, that's not what that means. Read.
Then Yahweh said unto Moses, now shalt thou see what I will do to Pharaoh, for with a strong hand shall he let them go, and with a strong hand shall he drive them out of his land.
Read on.
And God spake unto Moses, and said unto him, I am Yahweh, and I appeared unto Abraham, unto Isaac, and unto Jacob by the name of God Almighty.
He appeared to them by the name of Alashadja, meaning he not just appeared to them, but he made himself known, meaning he did something to prove himself under the name of Alashadja. Read.
But by my name Yahweh was
read.
Was I not known to them?
He didn't make himself known by the name Yahweh. He made the promise to Jacob that he would make himself known by the name Yahweh by bringing them people back into Israel. Right? That's what he's doing now with the Exodus. So this is how he's making himself known to us through Moses by the name Yahweh. Read.
And I have also established my covenant with them to give them the land of Canaan, the land of their pilgrimage, wherein they were strangers.
Read on.
And I have also heard the groaning of the children of Israel, whom the Egyptians keep in bondage, and I have remembered my covenant. Wherefore say unto the children of Israel, I am the Lord, and I will bring you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians, and I will rid you out of their bondage, and I will redeem you with a stretched out arm and with great judgments. And I will take you to me for a people, and I will be to you a God, and ye shall know that I am Yahweh your power, which bringeth you out from under the burdens of the Egyptians. I'm at verse 8.
Yep. All right. Let's go back to Genesis.
Genesis chapter 29, verse 1. Then Jacob went on his journey and came into the land of the people of the east. And he looked, and behold, a well in the field. And lo, there were three flocks of sheep lying by it. For out of that well they watered the flocks, and a great stone was upon the well's mouth. And thither were all the flocks gathered, and they rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the sheep, and put the stone again upon the well's mouth in his place. And Jacob said unto them, My brethren, whence be ye? And they said, Of Haran are we. And he said unto them, Know ye Laban the son of Nahor? And they said, We know him. And he said unto them, Is he well? And they said, He is well. And behold, Rachel his daughter cometh with the sheep. And he said, Lo, it is yet high day, neither is it time that the cattle should be gathered together. Water ye the sheep, and go and feed them. And they said, we cannot until all the flocks be gathered together, until they roll the stone from the well's mouth, then we water the sheep. And while he yet spake with them, Rachel came with her father's sheep, for she kept them. And it came to pass, when Jacob saw Rachel, the daughter of Laban, his mother's brother, and the sheep of Laban, his mother's brother, that Jacob went near, and rolled the stone from the well's mouth, and watered the flock of Laban, his mother's brother. And Jacob kissed Rachel, and lifted up his voice, and wept. And Jacob
kissed Rachel. He was already in love. Love at first sight. Read. He cried when he seen her. You ever seen a girl so fine that make you want to cry? I know I have. Go ahead.
And Jacob told Rachel that he was her father's brother, and that he was Rebekah's son, and she ran and told her father. And it came to pass, when Laban heard the tidings of Jacob, his sister's son, that he ran to meet him, and embraced him, and kissed him, and brought him to his house, and he told Laban all these things. And Laban said to him, surely thou art my bone and my flesh.
And this is when you get the Levi, we call each other Zoe. Zoe is dealing with bone. Thou art my bone and my flesh. Right? Read on.
And he abode with him the space of a month. And Laban said unto Jacob, because thou art my brother, shouldest thou therefore serve me for naught? Tell me, what shall thy wages be?
What do you want for this service that you're providing me? Read.
And Laban had 2 daughters. The name of the elder was Leah, and the name of the younger was Rachel. Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored.
Right, so she was tender-eyed, meaning she had nice eyes. But it says she was, what verse you at?
18.
Genesis 29:18. Let's see what this means, okay?
Well, it was 17, but I'm at 18 now.
Okay. So watch this. Let's take a look. Read that verse again. 17.
Leah was tender-eyed, but Rachel was beautiful and well-favored.
She was beautiful and well-favored. So let's take a look at this in the Hebrew. It says Yapah, right? Tha'ar, Yapah, Mara'ah, right? So let's take a look at Tha'ar, because we know Yapah, that means beautiful, right? And this Mara'ah means in sight. So she was beautiful to look at. But this word, they don't translate this word in the translation, but let's see. It's in the Hebrew. There's a reason. Shape. Form. Read 17 again.
Leah was tender-eyed, but
Leah had nice eyes, but what?
But Rachel was beautiful and well-favored.
Rachel was fine as hell and had a banging body. This is just what it was. The younger sister had the better body, and that in part played a role in why Jacob liked Rachel better. We have to understand, this is a black man we're dealing with. This is the father of the black, Hispanic, and Native Indian man. And I'm going to just speak frank, man. That ass, man, that's all he really cared about.
The wagon on that dragon.
The wagon on that dragon. You understand what I'm saying? That's what he was looking into. The same way a lot of brothers are, man. All right, yeah, Leah had them nice eyes, and eyes will go a long way. But I'm going to tell you something right now. The curves on Rachel, Jacob was sold. So this clearly ain't no white man.
Yeah.
Right? So read.
Yeah. And Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve thee 7 years for Rachel thy younger daughter. And Laban said, it is better that I give her to thee than that I should give her to another man. Abide with me. And Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had to her.
He wanted her fine ass so much that 7 years of service seemed like nothing to him. Read.
And Jacob said unto Laban, Give me my wife.
I see Kadash Laban. See, we Leah's kids, so we always gonna bang for Leah, right? But go ahead.
Give me my wife. Give me my.
He said, "Nigga, give me my wife."
Oh man.
Read.
For my days are fulfilled.
Oh no, man, Jacob carnal, man, huh? Go ahead.
My days are fulfilled that I may go in unto her. He said that day.
Yeah, it's time. I need to hit this. What is you talking about? It is the day that I'm going to hit that.
He probably didn't even sleep the night before.
Yeah. He couldn't wait. Read.
And Laban gathered together all the men of the place and made a feast.
They had a feast. They had a wedding. Yep. Read.
And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him, and he went in unto her. And Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for an handmaid. It's like this goes into the like the tradition, like you said, with the feast and the wedding. Because remember, Isaac, she went to his father's tent.
Yeah, and they just had sex. This is him. Now they're having a feast. You know what I'm saying? You ain't always got to do that. Go ahead.
And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said unto Laban, What is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve thee? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou
beguiled me? He said, what is this? Hey, look, read that part. We got to read this part slow. Go ahead.
And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said unto Laban.
Go to the verse before that.
Verse 24. In 23. And it came to pass in the evening that he took Leah his daughter and brought her to him, and he went unto her.
That's right. So we hit that. There's a reason why Laban had a feast. Laban got our father Jacob drunk. Okay? He got him drunk. It was late at night. It was dark. He sent Leah in that tent. I've discussed and speculated and debated about this. Some brothers say that Rachel was a co-conspirator in this. I can see that. And that also that Jacob knew damn good and well. Number one, if you're going to hit on Leah and she's not curvy like Rachel, it's going to become evident.
I was thinking that
this ain't her. But he was tipping and he was feeling it and he took her anyway.
Maybe he's drunk. I mean, I'm just drunk. You know,
I'm just drunk. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and take this, right? So now in the morning when he's sober, see, a lot of brothers, and me personally, I never drank, so I've never had this issue. But a lot of brothers in the world might have got drunk and had sex with a girl that maybe wasn't the best looking or maybe wasn't the girl they wanted, but they just had sex with her, right? Because of their intoxication, it influenced them, right? Read on. That's why the Bible says do not sit at wine with another man's wife, because you're not supposed to have sex with her. But if you're getting drunk with her and stuff like your inhibitions will be lowered, and you may do something that in a sober mind would not do, right? Read on.
And that's why it's true to say you're not supposed to stand against your brother in strong drink, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and Laban gave unto his daughter Leah Zilpah his maid for an handmaid. And it came to pass that in the morning, behold, it was Leah. And he said unto Laban,
No, Jacob, I know Jacob didn't deal with a prostitute. Judah did. Go ahead.
What is this thou hast done unto me? Did not I serve with thee for Rachel? Wherefore then hast thou beguiled me? And Laban said, It must not be so done in our country to give the younger before the firstborn.
You see this? Oh yeah, see we can't give the younger before the firstborn. This nigga Laban is cold, man. He's a cold trickster. All right? Unblock Mimi dog. Hold on, let me see. Go ahead.
Fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for thy service.
What is a week in this context? 7 years.
Yeah, we can use that a day for the days unto years. We can use that right there.
Read.
And we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years.
7 more years, and I'll give you Rachel now. I know you've been already worked 7 years, but I gave you Leah. Now I need another 7 for Rachel. Read on.
And Jacob did so and fulfilled her week, and he gave him Rachel his daughter to wife also.
That's right. He took Rachel to wife after that. Read on.
And Laban gave to Rachel his daughter Bilhah his handmaid to be her maid. And he went in also unto Rachel, and he loved also Rachel more than Leah, and served with him yet 7 other years. And when Yahweh saw that Leah was hated, he opened her womb, but Rachel was barren.
See that? Because Jacob was dealing unjustly. Okay, I'm going to just speak frankly. He was dealing unjustly, and because of that, the Most High said, I'm going to make Leah have more babies than Rachel, because you're not treating these women equally as you should be. Right? Read on. Yeah, I'm not seeing Mimi dog, and I'm going to be honest with you. We got so many people blocked, it's going to be difficult to find
block everybody.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm certainly not blocking everybody, so... that's out.
Verse 32. And Leah conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Reuben, for she said, Surely Yahweh hath looked upon my affliction. Now therefore my husband
she said,
will love
so she had that first son, Raboban, look, it's a son. So she was saying, look, it's a son. So now he's gonna be happy to know that and be with me now that I know that, that I've had a son to him. Oh no, you're right. It wasn't an actual, he thought it was a prostitute, but it was actually Tamar, but he had all intentions of dealing with a prostitute. Right? So read.
And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, Because Yahweh hath heard I was hated, he hath therefore given me this son also.
He said, all right, well, Reuben didn't work, so he gave me this son, because he heard I was hated. Shemaiah, he heard my affliction. Shemaiah means Shemai, heard or listened, and then Awan means like sorrow. He's heard my sorrow. Read.
And she called his name Simeon.
Uh-huh.
And she conceived again and bare a son, and said, Now this time will my husband be joined unto me.
Now he's going to be joined unto me. It's where you get lawyer from Levi. Okay. Now he's going to be joined. I know I gave this nigga 3 sons. He's going to be joined unto me now. He still liked Rachel better. And this is why the Most High kept giving Leah kids. Right? Read.
I have borne him 3 sons. Therefore was his name called Levi.
Uh-huh.
And she conceived again and bare a son. And she said, Now will I praise Yahweh. Therefore she called his name Judah.
Nigga, Yahweh died. I'll call the name. I'm going to praise Yahweh. Why I'm going to praise Yahweh? Because I know I done gave this nigga 4 sons. I know he going to love me now. Read.
Therefore she called his name Judah and left barren.
Uh-huh.
That's the end of 29.
Right? So, those are the first 4 sons of Jacob. Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah. So, yes, Judah's the head tribe, but you still Levi's little brother. Never forget it. With that, all praises Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Big up to Nakama Yahweh Yahweh to see you Most High on Friday. We can't unblock Mimi Doll. It's too many people blocked. Tell Mimi Doll to come in as another screen name. I don't even know how she got blocked. But with that, we're going to close out the lesson. Again, we give all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Oh, Salakia. No, we're not. I'm bugging. Salak. False alarm. I forgot. We got to go into the Torah now, too. I've been forgot. Salakia. We only did one part. It's just an hour and a half, though. It took a while. Leviticus 14. We're going to read 14, 15, then we're going to skip 16 and read 17, 18. Salakia, y'all. We still in the game. False alarm. It's just been long. So we still got the Torah to go over. We would be remiss to forget the Torah. Okay? It's important for us to learn this law, and us as a Levitical priest, it's our pleasure to give it to you. So read.
It's Leviticus 14:1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, This shall be the law of the leper in the day of his cleansing. He shall be brought unto the priest. And the priest shall go forth out of the camp, and the priest shall look, and behold, if the plague of leprosy be healed in the leper, then shall the priest command to take for him. Didn't we do this last time?
We read 13, so this is 14 about cleansing the leper. Right, read.
And the priest shall go forth out of the camp, and the priest shall look, and behold, if the plague of leprosy be healed in the leper, then shall the priest command to take for him, that is to be cleansed, 2 birds alive, and clean, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop, and the priest shall command that one of the birds be killed in an earthen vessel over running water. So
this is the sacrifice that would have to be brought when you're getting cleansed from your leprosy. Right? So read.
As for the living bird, he shall take it in the cedar wood and the scarlet and the hyssop, and shall dip them in the living bird in the blood of the bird that was killed over the running water. And he shall sprinkle them upon that is to be cleansed from the leprosy 7 times, and shall pronounce him clean, and shall let the living bird loose into the open field. And he that is to be cleansed shall wash his clothes, and shave off all his hair, and wash himself in water, that he may be clean. And after that he shall come unto the camp, and shall tarry abroad out of his tent 7 days. And it shall be on the 7th day that he shall shave all his hair off, his head and his beard and his eyebrows, even all his hair he shall shave off, and he shall wash his clothes, and he shall wash his flesh in water, and he shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take 2 he-lambs without blemish, and 1 ewe-lamb of the first year without blemish, and 3 tenth deals of fine flour for a meat offering, mingled with oil and 1 log of oil.
Go ahead.
And the priest that maketh him clean shall present the man that is to be made clean, and those things before Yahweh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall take 1 he-lamb in offering for a trespass offering, and the log of oil, and wave them for a wave offering before Yahweh. And he shall slay the lamb in the place where he shall kill the sin offering and the burnt offering in the holy place. For as the sin offering is the priest, so is a trespass offering, it is most holy.
right? It is the priest, right? Meaning what? We would eat it. Us Levitical priests would eat that. That would be our food. Read.
And the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering, and the priest shall put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot.
This is a ritual. It says, on the thumb of his hand, on the tip of his ear, and on the big toe of his foot, we will put the blood. This is a ritual. Read.
And the priest shall take some of the log of oil.
Hold on real quick. Arise, Israel, Issachar. There is not a monopoly on what month that is. We have to take our mind out of the calendrical system of Esau. It could be February. It could be March. It could be April. It varies. Go ahead.
And the priest shall dip his right finger in the oil that is in his left hand, and shall sprinkle the oil with his finger 7 times before Yahweh.
That's right.
And of the rest of the oil that is in his hand shall the priest put upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the blood of the trespass offering. And the remnant of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall pour upon the head of him that is to be cleansed, and the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahweh. And the priest shall offer the sin offering and make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed from his uncleanness, and afterward he shall kill the burnt offering. And the priest shall offer the burnt offering and the meat offering upon the altar, and the priest shall make an atonement for him, and he shall be clean. And if he be poor and cannot get so much, then he shall take 1 lamb for a trespass offering to be waved to make an atonement for him.
Remember, we dealt with the wave offering, right? A couple weeks ago. You take it, you wave it before the Most High, before you offer it. Read on.
And 1/10 deal fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering and a log of oil. And 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, such as he is able to get. And the one shall be a sin offering, and the other a burnt offering. And he shall bring them on the 8th day for his cleansing unto the priest, and to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before Yahweh. And the priest shall take the lamb of the trespass offering and the log of oil, and the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before Yahweh. And he shall kill the lamb of the trespass offering, and the priest shall take some of the blood of the trespass offering and put it upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed.
See that again. Putting that on the tip of the right ear. Read on.
And upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot. And the priest shall pour of the oil into the palm of his own left hand, and the priest shall sprinkle with his right finger some of the oil that is in his left hand 7 times before Yahweh. And the priest shall put of the oil that is in his hand upon the tip of the right ear of him that is to be cleansed, and upon the thumb of his right hand, and upon the great toe of his right foot, upon the place of the blood of the trespass offering. And the rest of the oil that is in the priest's hand he shall put upon the head of him that is to be cleansed, to make an atonement for him before Yahweh.
Read on.
And he shall offer the one of the turtle doves, or of the young pigeons, such as he can get. Slakia. Verse 31. Even such as he is able to get, the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, with the meat offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for him that is to be cleansed before Yahweh. This is the law of him in whom is the plague of leprosy, whose hand is not able to get that which pertaineth to his cleansing. Verse 33. And Yahweh spake unto Moses and unto Aaron, saying, When ye be come into the land of Canaan, which I give to you for a possession, and I put the plague of leprosy in the house of the land of your possession.
So a person can get leprosy, a piece of clothing can get leprosy, and also a house can get leprosy. Read on.
Verse 34. Verse 35. And he that owneth the house shall come and tell the priest, saying, It seemeth to me there is as it were a plague in the house.
There's a plague in the house, so the priest comes in to inspect it, right?
Then the priest shall command that they empty the house before the priest go into it to see the plague, that all that is in the house be not made unclean, and afterward the priest shall go in to see the house. And he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague...
So like, I don't walk on yet, but we're gonna go over that. We're gonna cover 17 and 18 chapters. So we'll go over it. Go ahead.
And he shall look on the plague, and behold, if the plague be in the walls of the house with hollow strakes, greenish or reddish, which in sight are lower than the wall, then the priest shall go out of the house to the door of the house, and shut up the house 7 days. And the priest shall come again the 7th day, and shall look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the walls of the house, then the priest shall command that they take away the stones in which the plague is, and they shall cast them into an unclean place without the city. And he shall cause the house to be scraped within round about, and they shall pour out the dust that they scrape off without the city into an unclean place. And they shall take other stones and put them in the place of those stones, and he shall take the other mortar and shall plaister the house. And if the plague come again and break out in the house, after that he had taken away the stones, and after he hath scrapped the house, and after it is plastered, then the priest shall come and look, and behold, if the plague be spread in the house, it is a fretting leprosy in the house, it is unclean. And he shall break down the house, the stones of it, and the timber thereof, and all the mortar of the house, and he shall carry them forth out of the city into an unclean place. Moreover, he that goeth into the house all the while that it is shut up shall be unclean until the even.
Yeah, that's like a mold in the house, man. Right, go ahead.
And he that lieth in the house shall wash his clothes, and he that eateth in the house shall wash his clothes. And if the priest shall come in and look upon it, and behold, the plague hath not spread in the house, and the house was plastered, then the priest shall pronounce the house clean, because the plague is healed. And he shall take to cleanse the house 2 birds, and cedar wood, and scarlet, and hyssop, and he shall kill the one of the birds in an earthen vessel over running water. And he shall take...
Yeah, what's crazy, though, is, you know, in this day and age, we can't even... This is another one of those things that we can't even afford. So let's say you had some leprosy in your house, you can't just tear your damn house down, man, like we used to be able to. It's crazy. Read.
And he shall take the cedar wood, and the hyssop, and the scarlet, and the living bird, and dip them in the blood of the slain bird, and in the water, in the running water, and sprinkle the house 7 times. And he shall cleanse the house with the blood of the bird, and with the running water, and with the living bird, and with the cedar wood, and with the hyssop, and with the scarlet. But he shall let go the living bird out of the city into the open fields, and make an atonement for the house, and it shall be clean.
Raul, leprosy is not contagious, so I can't explain how you would just get it. But go ahead.
This is the law for all manner of plague of leprosy and scowl, and for the leprosy of a garment of a house, and for a rising, and for a scab, and for a bright spot, to teach when it is unclean and when it is clean. This is the law of leprosy. That's the end of 14, and I got a precept.
Okay, go ahead.
This is really one of the coldest cuts in the Bible, proving Yahushua told us to keep the law. This is Matthew 8:1. And when he was come down from the mountain, great multitudes followed him. Talking about Yahushua. And behold, there came a leper and worshipped him, saying, Lord, if thou wilt, thou can make me clean. And Yahushua put forth his hand and touched him, saying, I will, be thou clean. And immediately his leprosy was cleansed. So Yahushua just healed a man of his leprosy. Verse 4. And Yahushua said unto him, See thou tell no man, don't tell nobody, but go thy way, show thyself to the priest, and offer the gift that Moses commanded for a testimony unto them. So Yahushua just told someone to go sacrifice.
That's right.
But we're not supposed to keep the law. He just commanded someone to keep the law.
Okay.
I'm at 15. Want me to skip 15?
No, skip 16.
Okay. This is Leviticus chapter 15, verse 1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses and to Aaron, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When any man hath a running issue out of his flesh, because of his issue, he is unclean.
When you have a what?
A running
issue, right? So. The running issue. Right, so this means to flow, gush, issue, discharge. So basically, if a man gets gonorrhea, read.
Verse 3, And this shall be his uncleanness in his issue. Whether his flesh run with his issue, or his flesh be stopped from his issue, it is his uncleanness.
You're unclean if you get gonorrhea, man. Read.
Every bed whereon he lieth that hath the issue is unclean, and everything whereon he sitteth shall be unclean.
Same way, just like when a woman is on her period. Read on.
And whosoever toucheth his bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And he that sitteth on anything whereon he sat that hath the issue shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And he that toucheth the flesh of him that hath the issue shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And if he that hath the issue spit upon him that is clean, then he shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And what saddle soever he rideth upon that hath the issue shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth anything that was under him shall be unclean until the even. And he that beareth any of those things shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean.
So if somebody's walking around dripping, got clapped, and everything he touches, including the people he touches, is unclean. Read.
And whomsoever he toucheth that hath the issue, and hath not rinsed his hands in water, he shall wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the even. And the vessel of earth that he toucheth, which hath the issue, shall be broken, and every vessel of wood shall be rinsed in water.
That's how bad it is. If it's an earthen vessel, you gotta just break it, man. Read.
And when he that hath an issue is cleansed of the issue of his issue, then he shall number to himself 7 days for his cleansing, and wash his clothes and bathe himself in running water, and shall be clean. And on the 8th day he shall take to him 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, and come before Yahweh unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and give them unto the priest. And the priest shall offer them the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before Yahweh for his issue. Verse 16. And if any man's seed of copulation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the even.
So if a man's seed of copulation, meaning if you're a man and you ejaculate for whatever reason, right, you're unclean until even. All right, should wash up. You're unclean until even. Read on.
And every garment and every skin whereon the seed of copulation shall be washed with water and be unclean until the even. The woman also with whom the man shall the women also with whom man shall lie with seed of copulation, they shall both bathe themselves in water and be unclean until the even.
Meaning after you have sex, take a shower. That's in the law. Okay. Read.
And if a woman hath an issue, and her issue in her flesh be blood, she shall be put apart 7 days, and whosoever toucheth her shall be unclean until the even. And everything that she lieth upon in her separation shall be unclean. Everything also that she sitteth upon shall be unclean. And whosoever toucheth her bed shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. And whosoever toucheth anything that she sat upon shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even.
It's another law that we're in a time of difficulty in keeping, because if you cohabitate with a woman who is, a woman when it's, already started her cycle, you're just going to be perpetually unclean during the whole time we're seeing. It's not enough that you sleep on 2 different beds. That's not enough. Anything she touches in that house is unclean. So if it's unclean and you touch it, then you're unclean. You see what I'm saying? Which is also an issue that we're having in the earth, because even if you were able to do that in your house, you go outside, these women don't care if they're on their period or not. They're not following the laws. So you're going to encounter uncleanness of a certainty. But go ahead.
Okay. And if any man lie with her at all, and her flowers be upon him, he shall be unclean 7 days, and all the bed whereon he lieth shall be unclean.
You can't have sex with a girl on her period. Right? Read on.
And if a woman have an issue of her blood many days out of the time of her separation, or if it run beyond the time of her separation, all the days of the issue of her uncleanness shall be as the days of her separation. She shall be unclean. Every bed whereon she lieth, all the days of her issue shall be unto her as the bed of her separation. And whatsoever she sitteth upon shall be unclean, as the uncleanness of her separation. And whosoever toucheth those things shall be unclean, and shall wash his clothes, and bathe himself in water, and be unclean until the even. But if she be cleansed of herself of her issue, then she shall number to herself 7 days, and after that she shall be clean. And on the 8th day she shall take unto her 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons, and bring them unto the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and the priest shall make an atonement for her before Yahweh for the issue of her uncleanness. Thus shall ye separate the children of Israel from their uncleanness, that they die not in their uncleanness, when they defile my tabernacle that is among them.
Meaning you can't go, and that shows what uncleanness is in reference to. It's in reference to the tabernacle, meaning you cannot come to the tabernacle unclean. That's all it really affected. Right? Read on.
This is the law of him that hath an issue, and of him whose seed goeth from him, and is defiled therewith. And of her that is sick of her flowers, and of him that hath an issue, of the man and of the woman, and of him that lieth with her that is unclean. That's the end of 15.
Okay. So now let's go to 17.
That's Leviticus 17:1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, and unto all the children of Israel, and say unto them, This is the thing which Yahweh hath commanded, saying, What man soever there be of the house of Israel that killeth an ox or lamb or goat in the camp, or that killeth it out of the camp, and bringeth it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation to offer an offering unto Yahweh before the tabernacle of Yahweh, blood shall be imputed unto that man. He hath shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people.
So what that's dealing with, because the brother I know why I asked about this, what this is dealing with is the fact that you can't sacrifice on your own. A regular Israelite man can't just go kill a sacrifice. He can't do it. I'm going to show it. Let's go to Leviticus. I want to show it here real quick in another translation. Turn this on. Okay. So, right, if any native Israelite sacrifices a bull or a lamb or goat anywhere inside or outside the camp. See that? So it's not just talking about killing it, it's talking about sacrificing it. Right? If you kill it for the purpose of a sacrifice, read on.
Okay. And verse 4. And bringeth it not unto the door of the tabernacle.
And you don't bring it to the temple? Read.
Of the congregation to offer an offering unto the Lord before the tabernacle of Yahweh. Blood shall be imputed unto that man.
You don't have the authority to just sacrifice an animal. You better bring that to the priest so the priest can offer it. Or else you're going to just be counted as somebody who for no reason killed an animal. Some cruelty to animals. Right? Read on.
He hath shed blood, and that man shall be cut off from among his people. To the
You're
end.
basically a murderer. Because you did a vain sacrifice. It's essentially murder. Read.
To the end that the children of Israel may bring their sacrifices which they offer in the open field.
And this is what proves it. To the end. The point of this is you bring your sacrifices before Yahweh and his priests. Read.
Even that they may bring them unto Yahweh, unto the door of the tabernacle, and of the congregation, unto the priest, and offer them for peace offerings unto Yahweh. And the priest shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar of Yahweh at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and burn the fat for a sweet savor unto the Lord. And they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils.
And they shall no more what?
Sacrifice their sacrifices unto devils.
This is also a way to curb idolatry.
Or offer their sacrifices unto devils.
Because offering in the field and in the high places and all of that's where they would worship idols at. So if you sacrifice something, you make sure to bring it to Yahweh to show that you're not sacrificing to another God. You're giving it to the Most High and to his priests to take care of, who are trained in the charge of the rituals that are pleasing unto Yahweh. Read.
And they shall no more offer their sacrifices unto devils, after whom they have gone a whoring.
Remember that word devils is Shiar, which the white man is. Read.
This shall be a statute forever unto them throughout their generations.
Jew decipher. All of Israel are considered priests after the order of Melchizedek. The order of Melchizedek is a spiritual priesthood, right? The Levitical order, the Aaronic order, is a physical priesthood, right? It's not the same. Every Israelite can't go in that temple and do anything. If you are not a Levite, and specifically an Aaronite, if you walked into certain parts of that temple, you would die. You would die. If you're not a Levite and you try to touch the Ark of the Covenant, you will die. See, so there's a physical priesthood with physical ordinances, and then there's a spiritual priesthood. The spiritual priesthood is for all the 12 tribes. That's called the Melchizedekite order, after Melchizedek, the king of righteousness, in whom Yahushua is, in the order where he came to reinstitute. But the Levitical order is what you would call more carnal, and it's bound by carnal commandments, and it needs carnal things in order to operate. Meaning, I'm a Levitical priest. Hassan Karab sitting next to me is a Levitical priest. But we can't execute our office right now because we don't have a temple and all the necessary things to execute our office. But we all as a people can execute the office of the Melchizedekite priesthood because we all have the tools needed, which is just simply the Bible. You see what I'm saying? So that would be the difference in dealing with ourselves as the temple and Israel collectively as the temple versus the physical building or the physical tent that we deal with. That's why the Melchizedekite priesthood is superior to the Levitical priesthood. Right? So read.
And thou shalt say unto them, whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers which sojourn among you, that offereth a burnt offering or sacrifice, and bringeth it not unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation to offer it unto Yahweh, even that man shall be cut off from among his people.
That's right.
And whatsoever a man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, that eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul.
So we can't eat blood. You don't eat rare food, things like anything with blood in it. The Most High is against that. And I remember when I was young, I would despise if anything was relatively bloody in the food.
Yeah, I always say I eat in the world. Yeah.
And people look at me crazy. There's blood in this. Why would I eat this blood?
Yeah. Well done steak.
I'm not Count Dracula.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? So read that part again. So if you get a cut, don't suck your own blood like a weirdo. Read.
And whatsoever man there be of the house of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you,
you don't let nobody come amongst you and do this. Read.
That eateth any manner of blood, I will even set my face against that soul that eateth blood, and will cut him off from among his people.
The Most High will kill you for eating blood.
Yeah. Most High told it to Noah. Even before this, that's even back to Noah.
That's right. Go ahead.
For the life of the flesh is in the blood, and I have given it to you upon the altar to make an atonement for your souls.
That's right.
For it is the blood that maketh an atonement for the soul.
That's right. That's what the blood is for. To make an atonement for the soul, and it should be upon the altar. You should not be eating it. Yes, we can take blood transfusions if you need them. Read on. Yeah. They eat that fried blood. That's wicked as hell.
Who the hell does that?
Simeon does that. And other Latin tribes. Right?
Wow.
Go ahead.
Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, no soul of you shall eat blood, neither shall any stranger that sojourneth among you eat blood.
We don't even let the heathens do that. Read.
And whatsoever man there be of the children of Israel, or of the strangers that sojourn among you, which hunteth and catcheth any beast or fowl that may be eaten, he shall even pour out the blood thereof and cover it with dust.
You pour the blood out and you cover it with dust. This is even the Ishmael does this, where they pour. That's what halal means, meaning the animal was drained of its blood. Right? Read on.
For it is the life of all flesh, the blood of it is for the life thereof. Therefore I said unto the children of Israel, ye shall eat the blood of no manner of flesh, for the life of all flesh is the blood thereof. Whosoever eateth it shall be cut off. And every soul that eateth that which dieth of itself, or that which was torn with beast, whether it be one of your own country.
That's right. So you don't eat it, nor do you don't eat something that died on its own or that was killed by a beast. You only eat something that a man killed for the purpose of eating. Read on.
Or a stranger, he shall both wash his clothes and bathe himself in water and be unclean until the evening.
That's right. You're unclean if you eat a beast, even if it's clean, if it died of itself or was killed by other beasts. You got to kill it in order for it to be okay for you to eat it. Right? A human being has to kill it. Read on.
Then shall he be clean. But if he wash them not, nor bathe his flesh, then he shall bear his iniquity. This is Leviticus 18:1. And Yahweh spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, I am Yahweh your God, after the doings of the land of Egypt.
After the ways of the damn Kemetic people. Read on.
Wherein ye dwelt.
Where you were at. See, we spent hundreds of years there. So we, of course, observed the ways of those people. Right? So he said, after the ways of those people that you just spent those centuries around. Read on.
Wherein ye dwelt shall ye not do. And after the doings of the land of Canaan, whither I bring you, shall ye not do, neither shall ye walk in their ordinances.
Don't do the things of this place that you came from, nor do the things of the place that you're going to. Read on.
Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, which if a man do, he shall live in them. I am Yahweh. None of you shall approach to any that is near of kin to him to uncover their nakedness.
Do not commit incest. Why? Because they did it in Egypt and they do it in Canaan. Read.
I am Yahweh. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness. The nakedness of thy father's wife shalt thou not uncover. It is thy father's nakedness. The nakedness of thy sister.
Do not. Go ahead.
The nakedness of thy sister, the daughter of thy father, or daughter of thy mother, whether she be born at home or born abroad, even their nakedness thou shalt not uncover.
Don't matter if she's your mama's daughter or your father's daughter. Don't matter if you knew her, you grew up with her, or she didn't grow up with you. You can't have sex with that girl. Read.
The nakedness of thy son's daughter.
And then the coldest thing is people will be like, well, that's obvious. No, I know I know girls who have met their long lost brothers and their brothers try to have sex with them. Who had to say they had the same father but different mother. I know this for a fact. Right? So, they were both black. So-called black people. So what does that mean? This is actually a problem that plagues our people. Go ahead.
We both got the same fathers.
We got different mothers. Go ahead.
The nakedness of thy son's daughter, or of thy daughter's daughter, even their nakedness.
Your grandchild you can't have sex with. Read.
Thou shalt not uncover, for theirs is thine own nakedness. The nakedness
it's
of
like you're having sex with yourself. Go ahead.
Their nakedness of thy father's wife's daughter, begotten of thy father, she is thy sister.
That's your sister still. Read.
Thou shalt not.
No matter if it's your half sister, she's still your sister. Go ahead.
Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's sister. She is thy father's near kinswoman.
You can't have sex with your auntie. Meaning meaning an auntie and a nephew can't have sex, and a niece and an uncle can't have sex. Read.
Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy mother's sister, for she is thy mother's near kinswoman. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy father's brother. Thou shalt not approach to his wife, she is thine aunt.
That's right. Your auntie, who's just by marriage, you also couldn't have sex with, which naturally you can't have because that's somebody's wife. Or she was ever your uncle's wife. Do not deal with her. Read.
Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy daughter-in-law. She is thy son's wife. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness.
Right, that is adultery. Read on.
Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of thy brother's wife. It is thy brother's nakedness. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter.
Right, so if you have a woman, we can practice polygyny. We clearly see this in the Bible, right? But if you deal with a woman, you cannot deal with her daughter, even if you are of no blood relation to that woman's daughter. It's a sin to do that. Right? Read on.
Neither shalt thou take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter.
Neither her son's daughter. You can't take her grandchild at all. Read.
Or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness, for they are her near kinswoman. It is wickedness.
So when you can't deal with your near kinswoman, and when you deal with a woman, you can't deal with her near kinswoman. Read on.
Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime.
Because her sister is her near kinswoman, right?
Also thou shalt
not...
Now
her cousin. You can deal with your cousin, you can deal with her cousin. Go ahead.
Also thou shalt not approach unto a woman to uncover her nakedness as long as she is put apart from her uncleanness.
Meaning if a woman's on her period, you can't have sex with her. Read on.
Moreover, thou shalt not lie carnally with thy neighbor's wife to defile thyself with her.
Right, so you can't, of course, commit adultery. But mind you, all these things we're reading about, all these various cases of incest and having sex when somebody's on a period and committing adultery, these are all things that they practiced fervently in Egypt and Canaan. Right? And their history shows that. So read.
Yeah, that's why he's laying all this down.
Come.
And thou shalt not let any of thy seed pass through the fire to Molech, neither shalt thou profane the name of thy power. I am Yahweh.
That's what the Canaanites did. Read on.
Thou shalt not lie with mankind as with womankind.
Don't be a homosexual. Read.
It is an abomination.
Meaning they were doing that in Egypt and Canaan. Read on.
Neither shalt thou lie with any beast to defile thyself therewith.
Don't commit bestiality. They were doing this in Egypt and Canaan.
Neither shall any woman stand before a beast to lie down thereto. It is confusion.
That's total confusion. Because a beast and a woman don't go together. A man and woman go together. Read.
Defile not ye yourselves in any of these things.
Don't do any of these things that have been mentioned. Read.
For in all these the nations are defiled, which I cast out before you.
The whole reason I'm getting rid of these Canaanites because they did all this stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Read.
And the land is defiled.
They defiled the holy land. Read on.
And the land is defiled, therefore I do visit the iniquity thereof upon it. And the land itself vomiteth out her inhabitants.
Which is why I'm going to allow y'all and lead y'all into conquest in this area. Read on.
Ye shall therefore keep my statutes and my judgments, and shall not commit any of these abominations, neither any of your own nation, nor any stranger that sojourneth among you.
You don't let any Israelite do it, and you don't let anyone that comes into Israel do it after you go into possessing it. Read.
For all these abominations have the men of the land done, which were before you, and the land is defiled. That the land spew not you out also when ye defile it, as it spewed out the nations that were before you.
So when we started to sin, break the commandments, and do these things, this is why we got spewed out of that land. For the same reason. The northern kingdom got spewed out first because they were a little more fervent in it, but then we outdid them pursuant to the book of Jeremiah, and we got kicked out. Read.
For whosoever shall commit any of these abominations, even the souls that commit them shall be cut off from among their people. Therefore shall you keep my ordinance.
Meaning all of these things that all these laws are punishable by death that we just read about. All these sexual deviancies you get killed for because it's sick fornication. Really. Read.
Therefore shall you keep my ordinances, that ye commit not any one of these abominable customs which were committed before you, and that ye defile not yourselves therein. I am Yahweh your God.
There we go. So never do these things. And that will conclude the Torah portion this morning. So with that, Tony King, you asked about Jake with Rachel and Leah. Interesting point you bring up, Art. Always that scripture. Get that in 18 again. That about dealing with a sister. Yeah. I've always looked at this scripture in a way, and I'll show you. Read.
This is Leviticus 18 and 18. Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister to vex her, to uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime. Okay,
so amongst our camp, we've had a debate on that scripture for maybe even a couple of years. Mm-hmm. And I've always been in the school of thought that means you can't have a threesome, right? Read that again.
So Leviticus 18 and 18.
And I'll show you. Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou take a wife to her sister.
A wife to her sister. What I thought to her sister was referring to was her sister wife. And the reason why I came to this conclusion was because of Jacob with Rachel and Leah. Jacob had Rachel and Leah. So I thought, okay, well, they can't be talking about that because Jacob did it. So, this got to be talking about a threesome. Her sister got to be talking about her sister wife. Read.
To uncover her nakedness beside the other in her lifetime.
Right, so basically, I thought to vex her, etc., was dealing with if you had a threesome with your two wives, that they would one another become self-conscious of each other, etc. Jealousy would be propagated because of the fact that they're both simultaneously partaking in sex with you, so you shouldn't do that. Also, you still shouldn't do that, but when we took a look at a brother pointed out to me the context of it, that I couldn't argue anymore with it. Which just go to the verse before.
This is Leviticus 18 and 17. Thou shalt not uncover the nakedness of a woman and her daughter. Neither shalt thou take her son's daughter or her daughter's daughter to uncover her nakedness, for they are her near kinswoman. It is wickedness.
You see that? For they are her near kinswoman. The reason you can't do this is because they are near kinswomen, right? So the context of that verse, when you start up, is what? Not dealing with near kinswomen. So it only makes sense that in the next verse, it's talking about her literal sister and not her sister wife. Because the context is near kinswoman. Yeah, right. So that's what led us to this conclusion. So the final say on that verse is that it's dealing with near kinswoman. It was another Levitical priest that pointed this out to me as well. So I'm always inclined to respect the opinion and interpretation of the Torah from the Levitical priest, because it's our job. Read, and we're dealing with Leviticus. What does Leviticus mean? Pertaining to the Levites. Yeah. Go ahead.
This is Leviticus 18 and 18 in the NLT. While your wife is living, do not marry her sister.
Now, if she dies, you can get with her sister. And I think that it wasn't, of course, wrong for Jacob, but remember, he was tricked into it, 1. 2, I think maybe the turmoil that he got, remember, he said his days were short and full of trouble, because of the hell that he received from just dealing with Leah and Rachel and the jealous sibling rivalry that took place in his home because of them two. So I think it is as a result of Jacob's relationship with Rachel and Leah that we shouldn't do it, because it was a clear example of how problematic it is to do it. Two sisters not biologically related, without the same mother and father, have a hard enough time sharing a brother, let alone ones that have the same mother and father, and or mother or father, right? So, that's just what it is, and that's why we came to that conclusion through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. So with that, we're going to close up. Most High willing to see y'all back later for the Situation Room. Do remember, this weekend, Miami, South Beach, Little Haiti, Hollywood Beach, Golden Glades. We plan to hit all those spots this weekend. Text 206-303-0415. Text Miami to it for more details. Also going down the 12th MASHARAH YASHARAHLA Hebrew Summit in Atlanta, Georgia, January 24th to 27th. Hope to see y'all there. Again, we give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and say Shalom.
Shalom.